Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to day 14 of your yoga challenge. We are almost halfway through. This is so exciting. Give yourself a pat on the back. You know, you did it. You're almost halfway there. And today we are going to be grounding. So what is grounding essentially? For me, the best way to describe it is coming back down to earth. Now, when you are a human like me who maybe struggles with anxiety, or just in general, if you're going through a lot in life, you can kind of feel ungrounded, right? You feel kind of like you're floating through life. You're just completely just not tethered, you know, you don't really have that stability. Grounding is the root chakra, so safety, stability, security. And to ground means to come back down to earth, to come back down to that stable foundation, that stable base. And that's what we're going to be working on today. So if you're not already, I would recommend maybe pausing this video for a second and taking this class outside. I think I would film it outside, but I might be attacked by my dogs and I don't know what my neighbors are up to, so I don't want it to be super loud. But I recommend just taking a second to set up yourself outside and do this class outside, because I think that it would be, you feel much more grounded outside. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm feeling ungrounded, going for a hike, going for a walk, it's like that TikTok where it's like going on a stupid walk for my stupid mental health. Why does that make us feel better? Because of the grounding energy. So take a second, go find yourself outside, and then come on back. Now, if you did that, or you just want to stay inside, or you're outside, we're setting up outside to do a little flow. We are going to get started seated. So again, easy seated pose, wherever feels right for you. It can be seated like I am with legs crossed. You can sit on a pillow, bolster, blanket block. You can extend the legs. Just find the seated position that is comfortable for you. And we're going to do a little grounding exercise. You might have heard of this in kind of a different way before. It's like the 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear kind of thing. But instead of attaching kind of like arbitrary numbers, we're just going to focus on the 5 senses. So come to your seated posture. We're going to have our palms facing down for that grounding energy. And as we start, you can close your eyes, but I will prompt you to open them in a moment. But just take a moment to settle in here, to bring your awareness to your breath. Maybe take a second to kind of like rock back and forth in your seat and feel those sit bones on the mat. Feel that stable ground, that stable base beneath you. And bring your awareness to your breath. Just noticing it as it goes in and out. And as you breathe here, notice how you are supported with that ground beneath you. Being conscious of where you're sitting and feeling that support, stability, foundation beneath you. You can deepen and lengthen these inhales and exhales. And now, when we take inventory, when we check in, we're going to do this grounding exercise. So take a moment to open your eyes. And I want you to just see what you can see. It can be one thing, it can be multiple things, at least a couple. And I want you to really focus on natural things. So if you're outside, plants, grass, animals, the sun. If you're inside, I can see outside my window. I can see the sunshine coming through. I can see the tree outside my window. I can see the sky beyond that. And let's say you're inside, you got no windows. What about on yourself? You are a natural being. You know, you're from this earth. You can see my arms, my legs, maybe touch those fingertips together and just feel it. Now, after you've done what you can see, think about what you can hear. It's pretty quiet in here, but I do hear in the distance maybe a plane. I can hear a bird dripping out my window. It's very, very quiet. He's somewhere out there. Maybe the rustling of the leaves. I can hear my breath. Just noticing the sounds around you. Now about what can you smell? It's okay if you can't smell anything. I can't really smell anything at the moment. But just taking a moment. Focusing on that breath. I'm picking up really light hints of my deodorant that I'm wearing. Really tuning in to these senses here. Now maybe bring it to touch, to feel. So maybe again, rubbing your fingertips together. You can kind of run your hands along your legs. You can feel whatever's beneath you. So I'm feeling my mat. Maybe you feel grass. Whatever it is. And finally, taste. It's a weird one, but it is one of our senses. I can taste my toothpaste in my mouth. You just kind of taste what your mouth tastes like, you know. And just take a moment to continue to engage these senses. So maybe feeling your legs, maybe looking around, maybe taking in the smells, listening to the sounds. We'll seal this with a breath. Really big inhale in through the nose. And open mouth, exhale. All right. We'll gently transition into a child's pose and start our flow here. Child's pose is my most favorite grounding pose. I think one of the poses where the most of us is on the mat and grounded. So open those knees as wide as the mat. Sink those hips back to your heels. Walk those hands out and drop that chest down. Settling in here. And continue to use those 5 senses throughout this practice. So for example, as I just laid here in my child's pose, my hair is kind of under my nose, so I can smell my shampoo and conditioner. I can feel the mat beneath me, and this time in different ways. So maybe lift up all 10 fingers, bring them back down to the mat, press the palm into the mat. Feel the mat beneath your arms, your elbows, your forehead or your chin. Maybe your chest, maybe your belly. Your knees, your shins, tops of the feet, everything touching the mat. I want you to make a note of it. Just breathe deeply here. Go ahead and inhale here. Exhale, walk those hands over to the right, taking a side stretch in your child's pose. Again, really staying deep into the mat. With every exhale, maybe sinking a little deeper. Inhale, walk those hands through center. Exhale, bring them over to the left. Inhale, go ahead and come back to center. Exhale here. Inhale, gently rise up through center, and exhale, release yourself all the way down to your belly, extending those legs back behind you. You can bring your forearms out in front of you, cross your forearms. You can either rest your forehead or your chin on those forearms. We're going to go for a half frog here. So I'm going to start on the left so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm bringing my left knee out, bending the knee, foot comes directly out from the knee. Trying to get that knee coming out from your hip for that 90-degree angle, but no worries if you can't. If you need to keep your knee down here, just don't go past that hip. We're going to settle in here. In this half frog, you can maybe turn to one cheek on your forearms. And again, I want you to really ground here. Feel every part of you that's on the mat. Breathe and tap into your senses. What can you hear? What can you see? What can you feel, smell, taste? Inhale here, exhale, release that leg back to straight, take it to the other side, so bending that knee out, foot comes out from the knee, maybe knee comes out from the hip and settling into this half frog. Again, just breathing, focusing on the support beneath you and your senses. Inhale here, exhale, release that leg back. Go ahead and bring your hands under your shoulders. We'll flow through some low cobra here. Inhale, lift the head, the chest, the shoulders. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise. And exhale, release. Inhale, last one, rise and hold. I can hear the birds chirping out my window. Exhale, release. Now, you can come to your Sphinx Pose. So I'm bringing my forearms in front of me. Again, really feeling the mat beneath my hands, my forearms. The mat is beneath my hips, my stomach, my legs. Option to stay right here or come to your high cobra. So pressing palms into the mat, straightening the arms. And then gently walking the hands back, step by step until they're underneath your shoulders. Really pressing those hips, that pelvis into the mat. Pressing shoulders down from the ears. Take a big inhale here and exhale. Find your child's pose. Sinking deep. Grounding yourself here. And then when you're ready, inhale, gently rise to your table and we'll find a downward facing dog. So tucking those toes. Inhale those hips up and back. Find some movement here in your downward dog. And again, just notice what parts of you are touching the mat, your feet and your hands. Driving those heels down towards the mat, pressing palms into the mat. Maybe pedaling the feet, shaking out the hips, shaking out the head. Find stillness here. Inhale, gaze at the top of the mat. Exhale, travel forward into your forward fold, however you want to get there. Releasing here in your forward fold. Maybe grab opposite elbows. Maybe sway from side to side and just feel those feet on the mat. Go ahead and come to stillness. Bring those hands to your shins, press into them. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to standing. Exhale, hands to heart. Now we're going to stand in our tall Tadasana mountain pose. You can release your hands to your sides, palms facing forward. Feel those feet on the mat. Maybe lift up all 10 toes and bring them back down. Maybe open your eyes and again, take a second to tap into those senses. Now, I can see out my other window, I see trees, I see the sun, I see mountains in the distance. Maybe rub those fingers against each other, against your palms. Maybe listen to your breath. All right, my lovelies, we'll flow through some half sun salutes here. Inhale, arms come up, really reach for the sky. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to standing. And exhale, hands to heart. 2 more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to standing. Exhale, hands to heart. Last one here. Inhale, really reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to standing. Exhale those hands to your heart. Find your Tadasana Mountain Pose again. Tap in here to those senses, to that grounding energy. Feel those toes on the mat. All right, my lovelies. We are going to flow through some warriors here. Now, another great way to ground, believe it or not, is movement, is exercise, is getting sweaty. So we're going to find some powerful warriors here. And that really brings us back into our bodies, right? Sometimes we can kind of lose that mind-body connection and get ungrounded from our bodies. Movement will bring us back in and just ground us back to earth. So from standing, you bring your hands to your hips. Right foot is going to come center. Left foot is going to step back. We're going into our warrior one here. So I'm stepping my foot back. I'm bending into my right knee so it comes over my ankle. Back leg is straight. Back foot's at about a 45. I'm going to square my torso off to the front of the mat. And once I feel stable here, I'm going to inhale my arms up. These warriors and lunges that we do are about stability, feeling that stability in the lower body. So feel it here. Maybe squeeze your toes on the mat. Inhale here. We're going to exhale, open up to a warrior two. So maybe widening your stance a bit. Still keeping that knee over ankle, opening the hips, arms come out, gazing over those front fingertips. And again, maybe gaze out to a tree or to a mountain or to the sky. All right, we're going to inhale here. Exhale, you're going to release to center. I'm going to turn both my feet to the long edge of my mat, setting up for my wide-legged fold here. Inhaling, arms up, and exhale to fold deeply. If you hear my dogs bark, just use that as a part of your grounding, you know. You can hear the dogs barking. That's part of my grounding on a daily basis. Find what feels good here, maybe bending into one knee, bending into the other. You can sway from side to side. Take your time again, feeling those feet on the mat, maybe hands on the mat or on your blocks. Go ahead and find stillness. Bring hands to your hips, bend into the knees. Inhale to rise. Now we're going to take those warriors in the opposite direction, starting with our warrior two, back to the back of the mat. So I'm turning my foot out to the back of the mat, bending into the knee, knee over ankle, finding my warrior two here. Now I'm gazing over my front fingertips. I can only see a wall here, but I can still take in what I'm seeing, you know, my nerdy posters. Inhale here, exhale, we're going to find our warrior one. So I'm turning to face the back of my mat. I might need to step a little shorter. Knee stays over ankle. I'm squaring off my torso and inhaling my arms up after I find that stable base. Inhale here, exhale, go ahead and release. Now, we're going to find our tree pose. So another great thing for grounding is kind of doing poses that are based in nature. So we have our Tadasana, our mountain pose, We have our tree pose. We have a ton of animal poses. This can help us kind of tap into that grounding energy. And tree is also one that's about balance and stability, finding that stability on your one foot that is holding you up. So I'm gazing at my tree and I'm going to do tree. So standing in the center of your mat, we'll start with the right foot. So you're going to put your weight into your right foot. You're going to come to the tippy toes of your left foot. You can have your hands on your hips. Option to stay here. Option to open the knee and just very gently rest your heel on the other foot. You're not lifting the foot up yet. We don't want to put a lot of pressure on the joint, so just a very gentle lean. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you lift that foot up and it comes to your calf. Again, avoid the knee. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you lift it up to your thigh, which is very hard if you have slippery leggings on. But we're going to try it. Nope, slippery leggings. It's okay. Wherever you find your tree, take a moment to find your balance. Then you can play around with how you want to grow your branches. Maybe extending arms. Try again for this. See if I can hug my leg here. There we go. I'll take this variation of tree. Maybe if my leggings want to stay in place. Nope. We tried, friends. Sometimes the leggings don't want to cooperate. They look nice though. And allow yourself to kind of sway, right? A tree sways in the wind. Shaking, swaying is a part of the fun, a part of being a tree. Falling is a part of practice. Just really feel the grounding underneath that foot that's on the mat. That foot is holding you up. That foot is keeping you tethered to this earth. When you're ready to release, do so slowly, no slingshots, and shake it out. We'll take it to the other side. So putting your weight into your left foot, coming to tippy toes on the right. Maybe turn that knee out, bring the bottom of that foot in. Maybe lift it to your shin. Maybe lift it into the thigh, again, avoiding the knee joint. Find your stability. Find your balance. Squeeze those toes into the mat. And maybe you can grow your branches and have fun here. I'm literally gazing out at my tree as I'm doing this. The tree that is the bane of my existence. It hits against my window all night. But we love it. It's a tree. Letting yourself feel that sway, that shake. Embracing it as part of the practice. Woo. And when you're ready to release, do so gently. Then shake it on out for me. All right, so we're going to make our way back down to our mats, coming to standing. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Just plant the hands and very gently step back for me, one foot at a time, just to a seat. Take a sip of water. All right, we're going to do some seated folds here. Get a little bit more grounded in our seat. First, coming to Baddha Konasana, so I'm bringing my feet bottoms together to touch. I'm opening at the knees. I'm going to inhale for a straight spine, and exhale, I'm going to fold forward. Doesn't matter how deep you can go here. You can also keep blocks or pillows underneath the knees for support. And just breathe here. Maybe tapping in again to your senses. Inhale to rise. Exhale, release. We'll come to a wide-legged fold now. So bringing those legs open and wide. They don't have to be super wide, just as what feels good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Breathing here in this wide-legged fold. Remembering it's not about how deep you can go. Just as long as it feels good in your body. Maybe I inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold a little deeper. And go ahead and inhale, gently rise. Now last one, straight-legged fold. Bring those legs out in front of you. You can always keep those feet wide to honor and make space for the thighs and the belly. And once I feel comfy here, I'm going to inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold forward. You can also use a strap here around your feet. Doesn't matter if you can touch your toes. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, maybe fold a little deeper. And inhale, go ahead and come on up. Now, we're going to find our child's pose. That's going to be our Savasana for this class, is that grounding child's pose. And I want you to set up in a way that makes you feel good. So maybe you want to lay on a pillow. Maybe you want to put a pillow underneath your butt, whatever feels good. Wherever you can maybe stay in this child's pose for a little bit longer than usual. Sink those hips back to your heels. Extend those arms out overhead and sink deep into the mat. I want you to reconnect with your breath here and reconnect with those senses. What can you hear? What can you see? What can you smell? What can you taste? What can you feel? Lift up all 10 fingers. Bring them back down towards the mat. Squeeze. Continue to breathe here and use those senses. I encourage you to stay for at least 5 breaths. This is where I will leave you, my friends, and I will see you tomorrow.